Morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A state employee with the South Dakota Department of Social Services is charged with child porn and sexual exploitation of a minor.
According to court documents, the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigations received a cyber tip at the beginning of March that 24-year-old Mohammed Goshain was talking to a 15-year-old girl from North Carolina.
Goshain allegedly asked the teen for nude photos of herself, as well as telling her that he'd fly to North Carolina if he, quote, liked what he saw. That conversation was just days before an Amber Alert was issued for the 15-year-old.
The 15-year-old little girl has been recovered, and another 30-year-old has been arrested by the North Carolina authorities regarding their investigation.
While Goshain was not involved in that North Carolina kidnapping, he is accused of preying upon the same victim. When authorities searched his house and vehicle in Brookings following the cyber tip, court documents say officers found what appeared to be a, quote, sex kidnapping kit in his car.
The DSS communication administrator tells KELOLAND News Goshain has been relieved of all his duties with the department.
An Olivet man has been identified in a deadly crash north of town. A car was heading north just after 6 o'clock Monday night when it slowed down to try to make a U-turn. A semi tried to go around and hit the car. The driver of the car, 73-year-old Rendell Shelsky, died from his injuries. The driver and passenger in the semi were not hurt. The weather conditions were favorable on Thursday for the U.S. Forest Service's hazardous fuels reduction work. In the Black Hills on Victoria Lake Road, crews began a prescribed burn near a fire that took place in December to help clean up the area. The burn stretches over 30 acres.
We're trying to reduce that fuel loading on the ground that I talked about. We're trying to reduce some of that heavy pine regeneration and open up the forest floor and open up the forest canopy so that those more mature trees have more nutrients and more sunlight, more things like that to allow them to grow better, get bigger, healthier, stronger. Crews will continue to work on this prescribed burn and manage it over the next few days.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Some record temperatures possible today.
Yeah, southeastern KELOLAND, we've been talking about it for the past several days, seeing temperatures in the 80s. Some may hit the low 90s this afternoon. 90 is the forecast high in Yankton, up to 88 in Sioux Falls. Cooler to the north and to the west, but still above average with highs in the 60s and 70s. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. For the next 2 years, people might want to avoid driving on Arrowhead Parkway at the intersection with Veterans Parkway on the east side of Sioux Falls.
The intersection is undergoing a major overhaul that will reduce traffic to one lane. The city is working to make sure people can access area businesses, but it'll be a difficult 24 months.
Is it unfortunate that we just went through 2 years of road construction out front here and we're going into another 2 years of it? It is unfortunate, but it does need to be done.
Drivers can use 6 Mile Road and 41st Street as alternate routes to get to businesses in that area.
It's spring cleanup time for a lot of people, including lawn care businesses. The yard barbers are getting busy, and they're taking care of properties, getting them ready for spring and summer.
Crews are trimming, raking, and even mowing.
It's still dormant, but it's starting to come up and come alive. As you can see, the green shades, that's how you know it's ready to be taken care of.
Berkey says spring cleaning typically starts in mid-April, but they're getting an early start following a mild winter.
Thursday was opening day for Major League Baseball, and there are ways to watch the Minnesota Twins this season.
In a press release, Midco says Twins games are once again available for customers in South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Fans can also catch the games on the streaming service twins.tv. Unfortunately, the Twins lost yesterday.
You can find more ways to watch the Twins this season in a KELOLAND.com original by Michael Dorn.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today, well, I guess it's warm enough for baseball, maybe almost too warm in some cases here. Look at this, Sioux Falls today, that daily planner, it goes to the top of our scale for March. We are talking near all-time records for the month. If we hit 88, that would tie the warmest temperature ever in Sioux Falls in the month of March. It'll be awfully close. We'll see where we end up with a partly cloudy sky. Of course, with all this warm and, if not hot weather, we've got a red flag warning that is in effect this afternoon and early this evening. That does include Sioux Falls. It includes Turner, Lincoln counties of southeast South Dakota, Yankton, Vermilion, Sioux City, and then eastern and northwest Iowa, and a pretty big section of southwest Minnesota. So just be careful with that. We need some moisture. We're going to get that, and it's going to come at us mainly here tomorrow. There could be a couple of thunderstorm chances this evening just south and east of Sioux Falls. More on that in a second, but I do think that tomorrow we kind of hit the areas of the south central, the far southwest, and then there's kind of that turn into western Minnesota. The question is, how much will we be getting in Aberdeen and Mobridge? The northern flank of the system, there is the tendency to kind of reduce those numbers quite a bit north of Pierre. So, and you're wondering, well, how much? Well, the green, if you just look at the green colors, that's where we're pretty close to that half-inch level or more. And embedded within that, you can make an argument that we'll pluck out some 1+ amounts on this, especially if you catch a couple thunderstorms that move along here. Let's look at the hourly map. So first things first, we see the warmth ahead of the front. There it is. Late this afternoon, Sioux Falls, Yankton, Sioux Center. Aberdeen, Mobridge at 5 o'clock. We're not in the 60s. We're probably dropping already at that point. So we got to remember that. And if you see this pause point mid-evening just south of Sioux Falls, could see some scattered thunderstorms. And one thing about it, too, of the air being pretty dry in the mid layers of the atmosphere there, the potential there for some dry lightning or, a thunderstorm without a whole bunch of rain, but maybe you get that gusty wind, that can happen. So just keep that in mind. It's not impossible. We could even get a severe thunderstorm warning with 1 or 2 of these in northwest Iowa into northeast Nebraska. So I just want to put that out there. Saturday morning, we're going to regroup and we're going to see that moisture flow coming back from the south. And these showers and thunderstorms are going to be developing in patches during the morning and working their way through in various waves during the course of the days. So the rain opportunities are pretty high for Sioux Falls, 90% chance of that. Your rain snow line makes it through Rapid City Pier through the mid to late afternoon. It's not, extremely cold, but, this time of year, you're just kind of right there in the low to mid 30s. And you can do that switch over. And I think that is something to watch as we round out Saturday night. There is definitely evidence supporting a sloppy, slushy coating of snow. Even the possibility south central South Dakota, there may be some spots with more than 3 inches of snow on this system. I don't think we're looking at any major winter weather headlines, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind that Sunday morning there could be some of that slush where that snow does fall. Sioux Falls is probably at this point out of most of that conversation, but it could snow. We want to make that clear, too, before it's all said and done. Sunday, it looks like the leftovers there in the Black Hills. That may produce another little surge of some light snow. Monday, we regroup. And guess what? Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, there's another system coming our direction. Could even produce some snow with that one mixed with rain. There's our best chance of accumulating snow, and I like the way that this is drawn here with the accumulation out there toward Valentine and winter, maybe a little better. The numerics on this, if you look at probabilities, we're talking 70% chances or higher in the red, and even the orange color that runs that narrower strip up through Huron and Watertown. That concept of kind of a tight belt of some accumulation there during the overnight hours. Saturday night and early Sunday morning is definitely there. But Sioux Falls at this point, just kind of watching that to our northwest. There are the highs today. A lot of heat out there in the southeast. 90 today in Yankton, mid-60s Aberdeen, but falling late this afternoon. Gone are the days of the 70s, 80s, even the 60s. Even the 50s, we can't even get that level on the 7-day forecast. So it's quite a change and just in time for the new month of April. So yep, that's the way it goes in Kettleland. And I think right now Aberdeen also will start off with the rain snow chances this weekend. Obviously, the heaviest brunt of it is probably going to go to your south. But that next one, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's still plenty of time for that one to move around on the map, so let's include that in your forecast. Also, Pier and Rapid City, chances of rain to snow tomorrow into early Sunday morning, and then we likely just hover there in the low 40s early next week. And I think that next system for the Black Hills also will be watched as we can continue to watch an active start to April. More details online at KELOLAND.com.